Go. Yeah. Directly make it. Go. Yeah.
What's up, y'all? Catching you here on the Monday morning at 11 a.m. to my show. And of course, let me get out the way, connected. And again, we're coming to you live from Recording Connection headquarters. So for those of you who have missed 1 through 12, this is something that we do here every Monday, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And the goal of this show, I know I sound like a broken record, but the goal of the show for you is just tuning in is to get you connected with opportunities in film, recording, broadcasting, songwriting, engineering, all those cool things. And to just kind of get you dialed in, get you on the path to excelling in these different categories. All right. Now, I want to bring this up because this is important. I want you guys to kind of get your Q&A, you get your questions going. So by the end of the show, you already got them. You're not thinking, and I can answer them and get them quick. All right. So, doing, man? You guys good? I know I'm doing good. I had a great weekend. I'm looking forward to Memorial Day weekend, and we'll still be coming. So make sure you tune on. It won't be a holiday for us because, you know, we got to go out there and get it. We got to make things happen. So make sure you're tuning here next Monday as well at 11 a.m. So check it out. We're going to get things rolling. We got some great job ops today. I'm excited about them and bringing them to you guys. So make sure you got your pen, your pad, your notes so that you can jot down all this information. Also going to be showing the Elon Musk resume for you guys. So make sure that you guys are able to kind of look at that as a blueprint and a layout on how to do your resume and also your letterhead. All right. Because we want to make sure that you guys are telling, you know, these employers that why you feel you're great for them, why you think it's you that should be hired. All right. So that's what we like to call the follow-up. All right. And in this day and age, man, follow everything. All right. Follow-up sets you aside from all the others that might be following up, might not be on their A game. All right. So, man, I'm happy to be here. It's Monday. Let's kick things off. Let's get it going. All right. First grind up of the day is in the field of film. This is video editor, responsible for editing daily clips for YouTube, for the YouTube channel, experienced in Final Cut or Premiere Pro. And this is in Los Angeles, California. All right, so let me give you a couple more details on this one. Editor will be responsible for compiling numerous submitted clips into one cohesive segment for social media. Time management is a must. Candidate will be expected to complete tasks within a short timetable. Editor will be responsible for meeting the needs of producers and project managers. One of the things I stressed on last week's show was, you know, we're getting these things that come up that says time management, deadlines, those various type of words. So the key thing for me is to stress, you know, that along with time management and meeting deadlines, you know, you kind of got to be a person of structure, organizational skills, because this all plays into a role of, you know, being on time, being prompt, making sure you're able to execute and meet these deadlines. Very important in these particular job settings. So time management is a must, and you'll be expected to complete tasks within a short amount of time. So that's what we call crunch time. That's when you kind of tend to deal with a little more pressure. And you got to come through, you got to follow up and make things happen. You'll be responsible for compiling numerous submitted clips into one cohesive segment for social media. So, you know, I think social media runs, I think it's a minute now that they let you, you know, at first it was 15 seconds. I think it's up to a minute now. So those kind of things, you know, when you're doing edits like that, you just, whatever it is you're doing it for, whatever the concept or the theme is, you know, you always want to make sure, you know, it's hits you right away. You know, it's energetic. It's the most information you can put into that short amount of time. And I'm sure you editors know what I'm talking about. So, and you'll be responsible for meeting the needs of producers and project managers. That can become a handful. You know, producers and project managers tend to have a lot of expectations, which is cool. It's just being able to execute on all those different levels and get them what they need. All right, so that's those are the details for that particular grind op. And again, that is in Los Angeles, California. We'll move on to the next one. It's grind op number 2. This is in the field of film, production tech, operate live streaming equipment, lights and video in state-of-the-art facility. And this is in Chicago, Illinois. And let me give you some details. Production tech, candidate must have experience with multi-camera video switchers, must be dynamic, motivated, and bring your A game every day. I love that language already. I mean, why wouldn't you bring your A game in a setting like this? All right, so keep that in mind. We provide outstanding work environment and excellent experience. We expect the same from you. Man, you know, these details are getting a little more like at you, you know what I mean? Like, they're like, hey man, there's no playing around. So let's dive into this. So you must be dynamic, motivated. Dynamic, I'm assuming maybe in a social sense, in a sense of how you are amongst people, you know, energetic, you know, excited, enthusiastic, and motivated. Well, I like to think if you're on my show at every Monday at 11 a.m. that you're motivated. That's what I like to believe. However, when you get into these type of environments, it might be different. Maybe you're kind of like chilled, calm, you know. Obviously, you know, this particular gig, you know, they want somebody in there who's got the fire, you know, who can come in and just with the energy create excitement, which is that's a great environment, man. I know for me, when I'm in a studio or when I'm working outside and whether it's a company or talking about, you know, product designing or any of those things, I'm excited, man. And the great thing is, if people aren't excited around you, there's something wrong. And, you know, it looks like this particular environment, man, they're excited. You know, they want somebody with excellent experience and they have expectations. They expect you to be kind of where they're at, you know, motivated and dynamic. So that's really cool, man. Like I said, these grind ops, the details are getting a little more straight, like straight from the hip at you. All right. All right. So we're going to move on to grind op number 3. Grind op number 3 is in the field of radio. This is audio operator. Audio operator needed for 3-hour morning syndicated radio show, must have an extensive knowledge of music styles, artists, and songs. And this is in Dallas, Texas. Now, I really like the details on this one. Shout out to my team for orchestrating these details, because what I love about this one is you must be open to accept new challenges and creating innovative ideas. All right. And you got to be, wait, hold on. Let me make sure I'm giving you the right details. Yes, I am. Okay. Candidate must be open to accept new challenges and creating innovative ideas. Candidate must be open to learn proprietary systems. Candidate must be able to be a troubleshooter and self-starter, able to maintain equipment and make quick adjustments as necessary. See, these are like what you have to be like this, right? You got to be able to go. You got to be open to learning new systems. And, you know, the key thing too, in these type of things, you know, there are new obstacles, there are new challenges, but that's how you gain your experience and creating innovative ideas. So this is kind of like, you know, you kind of just get to go and kind of take in what you're experiencing, but you also get to be creative. And, you know, there's a tech part to this too, because you get to, you know, be able to maintain equipment and make quick adjustments as necessary. And, you know, that's what it's about. I'm going to pull something up really quick. So this is what I love. Okay. Must have extensive knowledge of music styles and artists and songs. I love that because a lot of people get into something and they really haven't done their homework. You know, they know one thing, but they don't know the other components. You know, if you're an audio operator, you know everything that gig requires. Don't just know one genre. Don't just know one form of music. You got to know everything. And I tell people all the time, man, be a student of what it is you love, so that you know, when you run into obstacles and when you run into things that require new ideas and new concepts, you're able to pull from all that information you have, and it allows you to deliver. That is the key thing with any gig is, man, can you deliver? What kind of information do you have? Are you just limited? Do you just know one particular style of music or one genre and that's your comfort zone? Folks, get out of your comfort zone. If you look at these details, man, you must be open to accept new challenges. That requires you to be out of your comfort zone. And that's where true growth comes in, because you're able to learn things, you're able to, you know, acquire more information. And when you're able to acquire more information, guess what? You don't become a dinosaur. And, you know, one of the things that I haven't gotten a chance to really stress on in my shows is being able to navigate and maneuver. When these gears switch, when this job op turns into something else that you didn't think it was going to turn into, guess what? You got to be in a position to maneuver and guide yourself and have gears. You're only able to switch gears if you have the information that you're able to pull from. You know, and that's why I wanted to re-show you that grind out clip, because it said something crucial, which was knowledge of music styles, artists, and songs. Must have an extensive knowledge. Okay, so I like to equate that as just, man, doing your homework. It's great for you guys to tune in with me every Monday at 11 a.m. But I hope that you're able to take this information and really process it, digest it, and do your due diligence. That's the whole purpose of the show. All right. So I know I'm getting a little deep, but, you know, I'm passionate about what it is I do here. You know, I'm passionate because I had to acquire the information. And when you acquire information, man, what you're supposed to do is share it. And that's what I want to do for you guys. Okay. So make sure you're jotting this stuff down. Make sure you're staying with me, because you're going to see a link at the bottom of your screen. And that is the only way you can apply for these jobs. All right, so stay with me. Moving on to grind up number 4. This is in the field of recording, post-production sound designer. Seeking sound designer for corporate events. Applicant does not need to live in Houston. And this is in Houston, Texas, by the way. All right, so, you know, anytime you get to design, I mean, that's so much fun. I know I love sound designing, you know, just creating sounds and making stuff sound weird. You know, you never know what it's going to be or what it's going to end up in. But, you know, the more you have to pull from, you know, from your creative palette is super, super cool. So some of the details on this one: post-production sound designer, production company based out of Houston, Texas, but applicants do not need to be located in the area. Candidate must be highly communicative and email efficient. Candidate must have an efficient workflow. You know what's cool, man, is I'm kind of tech savvy. I'm not too tech savvy, but I remember when, you know, email was becoming the way to communicate in my industry, music. You know, when, you know, not being able to always get on the phone, and, you know, you're recording, you know, the biggest interruption when you're in a creative state is that phone. You got to ring and you got to stop the whole process. So, man, when I had to become email efficient, it was a whole new thing for me, because then I'm like, okay, man, am I spelling right? And then spelling check came out, and, you know, just all those things. But it's an important tool for business now. You know, a lot of business is done over emails now, because not everybody has the time to get on the phone. People are in flights. I know I'm in the sky a lot, and, you know, but I can get on my computer and I can shoot off an email. I can look at contracts. I can, you know, do all kinds of stuff. And you'd be surprised how many people aren't email efficient. Like my pops, man, it took him forever to become email efficient. You know what I mean? So it's definitely, you know, a must in this generation of doing business. And you're able to do, you know, scan and email it and all those things. I mean, it's really cool. So definitely want to be email efficient, especially on the communicating side. That's why, you know, saying candidate must be highly communicative. All right. Candidate must have an efficient workflow. Workflow is definitely important because that's, you know, depending on your workflow, that's kind of what enables you to meet deadlines, to get things done. And it's a must over at this company. So, you know, for those of you who, you know, have a great workflow, this would be great for you guys. I'm sure there's some cats from the Recording Connection that have an amazing workflow because, man, the Recording Connection breeds champions, straight up. So, and another cool point on this one is it is in Houston, Texas. I think we've had a couple of folks throughout our shows ask, hey, man, you got any grind ops out here in Texas? So, you know, you don't have to be from Houston, you know, but, you know, if you're close enough where you can, you know, drive on in or, you know, get there somehow, cool, man. Take advantage of it. All right. Moving on to our last grind op of the day. In the field of film, production assistant responsibilities include operating studio cameras for live broadcasts and talk show programs. This is in Tulsa, Oklahoma. All right, so we're gonna look over some details for this one. Man, Oklahoma, what's going on in Oklahoma besides OKC? You know, I don't know. I don't know if I've ever been there, but man, could be a new experience. So check this out. Production assistant will be responsible for the operation of all studio equipment, including the control room switcher. Man, whatever that switcher is, sounds like it's a for real switcher. Film experience preferred. Production assistant will have opportunities to produce promos for the creative services department. Candidate must be able to perform at a high level under pressure. See, man, that's all I ever talk about. And look at on our last grind op, that detail. Candidate must be able to perform at a high level under pressure. I can't stress to you how important that is because most people either do one or two things. Man, they either fold or they deliver. And the guy who can deliver under that kind of pressure is the guy who usually surpasses everybody. Because in this day and age, man, we just want folks that can deliver. In any setting, in any sport, in anything, it's the guy who can deliver. And I would like to think that those of you that tune in are those people and have that kind of mindset. I've only been able to get where I'm at is because I've been able to deliver under extreme pressure. And the only way you're able to really do that is really how much you exercise that muscle, your brain, right? And you know, it's what propels you to the next level. And that's in all honesty, man, that's how you get from being here to being here, whatever that means for you, you know. And I can't stress it enough how important it is for the guy who can deliver when no one else can. You know, the guy who doesn't fold, the guy who executes on the job daily, the guy who's there before anybody else is, the guy who's the last one to leave. Man, how important those fundamentals are in today's business. You know, it's everything. You know, I've heard so many stories of people and companies that go from being the mail guy to being the president. I've heard so many stories. I know a couple of them who started in the mailroom and who stuck around after hours to just peek around corners and learn things and you know, have those conversations of, man, so how was it, man? So how did you get here? You know, it's that guy, man, who always ends up. And you'll find a lot of times, man, and to be honest with you, these people, they're not the most talented people, but their work ethic is what surpasses everybody. It's the work ethic, man. I'd like to believe that I'm not the most talented person. I'd like to say that I'm great at what I do. I've worked very hard at my craft, numerous years and hours out of my life that I've dedicated to becoming great at my craft. But there's people who are way more talented than me, but the work ethic can't be matched by mine. And that's the difference. It's the guy who can deliver, but the guy whose work ethic is out of this world. All right. Film experience preferred. So For those of you, I know we got a lot of students here at Recording Connection who have some great film experience. For those of you outside of that, you know, you definitely kind of just want to know your ins and outs. Film experience. When I say the word film, I mean it's such a huge word that entails so much. So you know what I'm talking about, especially if you're, you know, if this is something that you're, you know, you consider your craft. Film experience preferred. Production assistant will be responsible for the operation of all studio equipment. So you got to know your gear. In these type of settings, whether it's engineer, sound designing, film, camera, so important to know your gear. All right, knowing the capabilities, knowing what you could do, being able to, you know, in a creative sense, have a B plan when you're not kind of getting what you need. You can maneuver and do various things. And you it says all of studio equipment excluding the control room switcher. So I guess excluding means you don't have to worry about the control room switcher. And I think that's pretty much it. Production assistant will have opportunities to produce promos. So you'll be still being able to be creative, and you'll be producing promos for the creative services department. I don't know how many of you have done promos or teasers. I like to think as promos is just taking the most exciting information for whatever it is the company's messages and compiling something together that's explosive, cool, sleek, very dynamic, and to the point. So for those of you film creators, you know, that's definitely something you can have fun in. All right, so that is our 5th grind up of the day on episode 13. So off to my favorite part of the show is the Q&A, where I get to kind of talk to you guys, and you know, you guys get to pick my brain, throw all kinds of weird questions at me. You know, I can give you weird answers, kind of. So I'm going to read off some questions. Looks like I got a question from a guy named Mike out of San Francisco. A few shows ago, you gave us a rundown of the things you do to be successful. Can you give us a breakdown of a typical day? How many hours you spend doing what? Man, that's a good one. That's a good one because it's so much. You know, I like to. Well, I'll tell you what. I've come down to the place of being able to partition my day. Meaning, I wake up. I like to spend anywhere from 3 to 4 hours, which usually is 7 a.m. to 12 p.m. to get all my emails answered, whatever conference calls, whatever phone, you know, whatever people I got to reach out to. I like to take care of that in my earlier part of the day so I can stay on track with having my lunch. And I'll tell you why that's important for me right now. So having my lunch and then utilizing the rest of the day to be what I'm most great at, which is being creative. Now, years ago, when I didn't have structure to my day, I'd be looking at a 16-hour day, getting home at 5 a.m., waking up to take my son to school at 7 a.m., which gave me 2 hours of sleep. Now, I was able to run on that for a while, but when it caught up to me, it caught up to me, okay? So if you look at the demand of what a day is for me, the demand is no joke. You know, it pulls from every piece of me. And for those of you viewing, you know, I don't know if you guys, some of you have children or families, but I would say to you, if you don't have those responsibilities on you, learn how to manage your day, okay? And this is not easy. You know, these particular grind ops and these particular categories, man, they come with dedication. They come with a demand that is very, very time consuming. It's nothing to play with. This is serious business. And like I said, the guy who shows up before everyone else and the guy who shows up last, you're looking at maybe a 10 to 12-hour day. No banking hours here, all right? And what I had to learn is that I can give you 14 hours in my day. I can do that. But I have to do it with structure. I have to do it with parameters. Because when I'm most effective is when I'm on track, when I'm giving creativity the proper time that it needs. And being creative, man, that could be 2 hours, that can be 24 hours, because creativity comes when it comes. And when you get lost in it, before you know it, your day is gone. Before you know it, you're looking out the door and the sun's coming up and you're saying, man, where did time go? So, you know, that's a great question, because I want you all to know out there that, you know, this definitely, you know, these things come with sacrifice. They come with demand, and you have to prepare yourself mentally to, you know, accelerate in these times and give your best in these times. And, you know, it only comes by you figuring out what works best for you. But for those of you that think you're going to get up and, you know, give it 6 hours or 8 hours, and it might not be that way. You know, I'll tell you, I'll be the first one to tell you, man, this isn't a traditional structure. This is a very non-traditional, very disruptive structure. Because in today's age, man, everybody's trying to get that crumb. But there's always somebody working harder. My dad used to tell me, son, there's always somebody working harder. It just depends what you want to do. So, you know, learn to prioritize your day. Learn how to, you know, first of all, early bird gets the worm. Start your day off early. Knock the things out. Knock the phone, the conversations, you know, the emails. If you can get that knocked out in the earlier part of the day, it allows you to do all the other stuff you really are probably great at, which is being creative, which is, you know, doing your film stuff, which is honing in on your engineering skills, your sound skills. You know what I mean? So the demand is insane. But I like to think that all of you who are tuning in are, this is what you want to do. You know, it's a choice. It's a sacrifice. Man, and in this generation, man, nobody's willing to make that sacrifice. You say the word work. Yeah. So something to think about, all right? Because there's no easy way. There's no easy way. It takes serious dedication and work ethic, all right? Moving on to the next question. This is Katz. Thank you, Wiz, for the film grinds. I was about to go hard studying music just to get my foot in the industry. Man, you should still go hard. Still go hard studying music, man. Because what's a film without music? What's a film without some type of ambient sound going on in the back? Music is everything. You know, you get on an elevator. Man, how creepy would it be to get on an elevator with like 4 people and it's dead silent? I think we have a dead silent elevator here in this building. But for the most part, man, you get on the elevator, there's music. You know, you coming home from work, there's music. You know, you're working out, there's music. You look at a commercial, there's music. You look at a movie, there's music. Man, music is awesome. So, man, definitely get your studying on with music, all right? What's up, Cats? I think I know you too, Cats. But it looks like, you know, it's a short and sweet one today. I hope you were able to jot down all this information. We're going to make the Elon Musk resume available for you guys again. I'm sure there'll be a link where you can catch it. Make sure you took all that information down for these grind outs, man. It's so much important. If you can, actually, as of now, look on the right side where you're sending me your questions. There's an example, a great blueprint layout for you with Elon Musk's resume, all right? And I can't stress to you how important that follow-up letter is, all right? Because you always want to let these people know why you feel you're right for the job and why you should be hired. I know if I'm hiring somebody, man, convince me you're the one that should be working with me, all right? So again, shout out to my lovely family, which is the Recording Connection. Shout out to my team, Howie, my man Mike, and Brian for making this possible, allowing me to come to you every Monday and present what we like to call Connecting. All right, so make sure to tune in with us next week. It won't be a holiday for me. I'm sure I'll be somewhere, you know, maybe I'll go fishing, maybe I'll try to live a little, but I'll still have my computer set up with me so I can come to you guys, all right? Coming to you live from LA. Man, thank you guys for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you next week, episode 14. My name is Iz. Amen, peace, and I'm out.
I'm playing this series. Direct it, make it.